Hey guys, it's Colin. Coming to you with a deck profile a lot of you guys have been asking for. A lot of you. It is the Extra Deck Monarchs. Me and my brother Nicky played this past Sunday in the Maryland Regionals. He got first, and I got second with the exact same deck. So, yeah, I'll start talking about like why we chose this deck. Um, when I saw the ban list, Pendulum were obviously dead. That's what we were playing before. And well, they're not dead, but I don't think compared to like all the top decks, they're not like as competitive. Like all the decks have a pretty good matchup against them. So I wasn't gonna play Pendulum, and I saw a build of Extra Deck Monarchs that topped regionals with Brilliant Fusion. Like I saw, I don't remember when, but and I thought it was an interesting idea. And then Pat Hoban and Chris LeBlanc the weekend. The weekend after the ban list was released at Houston, we're playing this Extra Deck Monarchs, so it even reinforced my idea more that it was a good choice. They were running Overdrive Teleporter, which you get Ghost Ogre and Blue Layer, and then you can make Spark Dragon, and then or not Spark Dragon, the new one that draws a card, and then Beatrice. And I think that was really good when drawing Ghost Ogre was actually a good card. At Houston when the pendulums were still a thing, when it was still really heavily played, you draw Ghoster against them, you can stop them on keyboard, and it's actually a really good card to draw. So you got to play two of them, and there's no problem. But now, Ghost Ogre is just a vanilla in this format, so you have to just play as a liability. And Overdrive Teleporter isn't even that like high. It's not even that much. There's no that much upside to it. It's just like you get a Beatrice, which is like just strictly okay. And so I definitely don't think it's correct to play it now. And so I'll just show you the deck. That it was actually pretty close to the original idea that I thought of. There wasn't much changing that I made. Nikki just copied the deck because he just came back for this regionals. He's on a kind of break right now, and he just was like give me a good deck list, and I gave it to him, and we took first and second, so it's a pretty cool event. First off, 3 Aether, definitely the best one, and then 3 Karaz. I definitely think this is necessary because if you draw one, you need 2 in deck. You use 2 in deck a lot. You just use all 3 Karazes just a lot. There's just nothing more about it. It's really good to open because it's only 1 tribute, and it draws you cards, so it unbricks you. Excuse me. So yeah, I don't think there's any reason to play less than 3 Karaz. It's definitely the best thing to get. Most of the time when you get it off Aether, you pop itself and another card because it doesn't really have any use in your hand outside of the early game. So yeah, I definitely think 3 is necessary. Only 2 Erebus. Erebus is really good in your opening hand, but outside of that, he's just like he's good, but he's just worse than Aether. And once you see 1, you can always have access to everything in your grave because it's the other effect. Discard a spell, add a Monarch from your grave to your hand. So there's no reason to have him multiples once you see 1. And we already had too many tribute monsters, so I decided, I wanted to cut one because I didn't want to open Cloggy with, you don't want to open too many tribute monsters or too much tribute fodder. And with E-Telly and the Quantums, it fixed the problem of that, needing too many, having too many tribute monsters or tribute fodder. So I needed to cut a Monarch, and this is definitely the one to cut. 3 Karaz, like I said, 4 is necessary. And so yeah, 2 is fine. I don't think me or Nikki had a problem with it. 2 Idea, 2 Eidos. So I know Pat was playing 1 Eidos, 1 Mithra. I definitely think 2 Eidos is correct, and this is the reason why. So Mithra by itself is strictly, well, not strictly better, but like most of the time it is better to draw than Eidos. But the thing is, it's not too much of an upside because you most of the time are sending an idea to grave with Brilliant Fusion sometime during the game. And if you draw an Eidos, then you can use Eidos once it gets engraved, once you tribute it, to banish it to get idea back to get another Eidos from your deck. And if you were to draw Mithra, then that doesn't happen. You can't do that, which is one of the upsides to these cards. And the reason only 2 of each is, like I said, you don't want too much tribute monsters or tribute fodder. And they definitely clog having too many of these in your hands. And they also limit your extra deck use after you use them. So when you use these, you usually want to do it the last thing in your turn. So you don't use them every turn like you do in the domain build. So you definitely can't run 3 of each. This is a perfect number. Like I already explained why not Mithra. If Mithra had the effect of Itis, obviously it would just be a strictly better version, but it doesn't. So you have to be able to draw this when you send this to grave. And then 2 red layer, 1 blue. These can recycle themselves. You never need 3. This is for E-Telly, obviously. E-Telly becomes a tribute monster and tribute fodder, so it's just like really good. Also makes rank 5s. Garnet, you only play 1 because you don't want to draw it. If you do draw it, you can actually Durandal, shuffle it back in your deck, and still use Brilliant. Doesn't happen too often, but it is possible to still make Brilliant live. And then 3 Maxi. I wanted to play some protection card in this deck and not it be all just engine and just like Monarch cards. And Maxi, I definitely feel like this is the best one. Because I'm not sure if I said it already, but the only time I think this deck loses to anything is when it bricks, which isn't very often. But like that is the only time when, because it has a good matchup against everything in the field right now. So Maxi is a protection card that also gives you cards. So you never have to, it's good going first and second, and it also helps you get out of, the awkward hands need be. So it's also like, it's just like free win against BA, because they're in a lose-lose situation whenever you activate this, and BA is really popular. So I definitely think this is the best choice as a protection card. That's it for monsters. For spells, we have 3 Pantheism. The card's nuts. 3 Tenacity, 3 Stormforth. This is why the deck's broken. It wasn't obvious already. Like, this is good against literally every deck. Just like the absolute stones against every deck. It is like a banned card against every deck. It's like different every matchup why it's really good, but it's like, in the mirror you can just tribute one of their monsters for these, because you can tribute a tribute monster for it. And then, Cosmo, it doesn't target, so they're relying on their, ships, and you just add it for free. And then against BA, Beatrice doesn't trigger, and then their deck doesn't really do anything if they're just making Beatrice and you just keep adding them. Their deck doesn't do anything. And eventually, you just run them out of resources or kill them. So, yeah. 3 Return. This card is definitely one of the best cards in the deck to open with, but you never really want to use it after that. So what you normally do is activate it and then get your engine going, and then you pop it off with Karaz as soon as possible. Usually after the first activation, sometimes the second. And then after that, you just send it to the grave for Prime Fodder, because Prime Monarch's amazing. 3 Brilliant Fusion. This card's amazing to open with, Tribute Fodder and an additional summon. Also can add a banish spell to your hand if you send Idea with it. And then 2 E-Telly, because it's at 2. And then 1 Upstart. That's it for the spells. And then Traps is just 3 Prime Monarch. This card is definitely the best card in the deck. It's not even a question. It is literally 3 Dragon Rulers. Like, they don't have... It's like playing, 3 Redox that just, can also be used during your opponent's turn. Turn 1, you summon it, once you sent it. And then, turn 2, summon another one. Turn 3, sometimes we'll get rid of it. And then, turn 3, summon, make rank 5. Next turn, end phase Prime, your turn Prime. And you can just keep making a rank 5 every single turn. And it's just, no deck can deal with it. Every deck just gets destroyed by Prime Monarch. I never use less than 3. It's important to have 3 in the mirror, because you can have 2 going. We'll also have 1 set, so you never run out of Storm Force and Tenacities or spells to send off the big Monarchs. And then against Cosmo, if they Cosmojo 1, then you need 2 so you can still make rank 5s. So it's important just to have 3 in your deck. That's it for the main deck. 40 cards, obviously. The extra deck, 1 Seraphonite, 2 Pleiades, you make 2 a lot against BA, 2 Adrius. This is important. This was Nikki's contribution to the deck, because you can make 1, if they have Mask Restrict, you need to make something that absolutely would kill Mask Restrict. Because if you don't, say they have back row, 3 back row, and you make, Volcus, or make, Zenmaia or something, and they don't use a back row on it, then you wasted a turn not getting rid of Mask Restrict. So you need 1 to, make them force a back row, and then another 1 to out Mask Restrict. Because if you have to have something that, forces them to activate their back row. So yeah, that's why I played 2. It came up a lot, actually, in testing. I never made it in the tournament, but yeah. Shark Fortress and Volcasaurus. these cards kill people out of nowhere. Bulk Swords especially. This card's probably one of the best extra deck monsters. I probably made it like once every round, I'd say. This card is definitely MVP. You just kill people out of it. I don't know. I think actually Nikki made it more than me, actually. The card's insane. Magna Liger for red layer. Durandal. I made this card a lot, but I don't think I'd ever need to. And then Zenmayo. It's like a Diamond Direwolf, but against the decks that you use it against, if it resolves, you usually win. So it's just great. Beatrice. This is a flex spot. I think Nikki played Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend for Ghost Ogre in the side deck. I never made it. I don't think he ever made Scarlet, but it's just there in case you did tribute Karaz her one and then get, you know, Aether Karaz or something. You end up with 2 Karaz and you make it. Never happened, like I said, because most of the time Karaz pops itself off. But yeah, it's there. I made it like once at locals one time. Felgrand, Hope Harbinger, and then Lancelot. I never made any of these in the tournament, but I made them a lot, you know, outside in testing and locals and stuff. Lancelot is actually really underrated. I know it's mandatory. Everyone that says, like, you know it's mandatory, right? And I'm like, yes, I know it's mandatory. What you do is this deck can grind resources very easily with Prime Monarchs and Aether. You know, you get them low on resources while you still have a lot, and then you just make Lancelot, and this seals the deal. Because just, like, negating whatever their first card is when they're already low on cards is just, like, it's just game with this deck. When you, especially if you have Prime Monarchs floating and stuff. So it actually came up quite some time. I think I've actually made Lancelot in this deck more than these two, actually. Yeah. Here's the side deck. 3 Twin Twister. This is what you side in 90% of your matchups because this deck, engine to engine, beats everything when it can play. So all you need for like Cosmo BA, you just need stuff to outmasker Restrict and bait Magic Deflector. So that's why you side this in. That's all you need. And so that's Nikki's other contribution to the deck. Originally I had, like, you know, Flying Season System Downs, and he's like, you know, why side those in when we're just going to side Twin Twister and our deck already beats theirs? Why overside? You know. So, I agree, this card is all you need against those decks, against most decks in the format. 3 Mask Restrict, 3 Chaos Trap Hole. This is what you side for the mirror. I've seen Mask Restrict, but I'm not sure how popular Chaos Trap Hole is. Mask Restrict is the only thing that makes this mirror really, really dumb. If someone draws Mask Restrict, they usually win because they have like a Monarch on board and then are making rank 5s. And they can just make the first Pleiades to bounce all your opponent's extra deck monsters, so they just can't out it. And then even if they draw like Twin Twister, they're usually too far behind at that point. And then Chaos Trap Hole, stopping one Monarch and banishing it, or like, you know, if they're relying on an idea in the mirror, which is very, very, very swingy, just resolving one Chaos Trap Hole has won me the game every single time. Same with Nikki, has won him the game every single time he's activated it. And I think it's very good. Yeah. Something I might change actually for the future is asking to side out Mask Restrict in the mirror, and then like siding 3 more cards. I haven't decided what, but I don't know. But like Mask Restrict is so dumb. Whoever draws it usually wins. And then these are like the flex spots. They're just in here just cause. 2 Ghost Ogre for Pendulum. Once you have 2, you have 4 essentially. I did it once on I played 2 Pendulum. I Ghost Ogre to Monkey Board one time. Basically won me the game, but yeah, just in there just because this side deck is very, very open on space. 1 Majesty's Fiend. In case I played against like Trapless BA, I could side this in, not have to side in the Twin Twisters, or only side in like 2, just in case they side in Master Trick and side one of these in instead. And I played against a Water, and it came up against there and sealed the game for me. Yeah. You know, they're just, like I said, side deck's very open, so they're just in there just for, like, very situational things. And the last 3 cards, like, I did not know what I was going to side at all, and I was just like, what does this deck lose to? Like, besides, like, you know, what does this deck actually lose to besides bricking? And the answer was actually just Dark Law. So we're like, you know what, neither of us, like, if we play against heroes, that's 1 loss for either whoever plays them. And we just don't want to go in a tournament not having outs to Dark Law when we have 3 spots in our side decks. We decided to Dark Law and Raigeki, literally for the Dark Law matchup. And none of us played heroes, but, you know, I feel like if we didn't side these, you know, we would have played heroes and just, like, none of us would have taught the regional. So, yeah, that's the deck, guys. Sorry if it's long. I don't know how long it is, but if you have any questions, let me know. This deck's really, really good. I would definitely suggest playing it if you like winning. Yeah, thanks guys for watching. Bye.